Now, a lot has been happening in the literature scene, especially with the recent announcement of the winner for the Nobel Prize for Literature. The award went to Japanese-born British author Kazuo Ishiguro. The news was a surprise to many, including the writer himself. So we wanted to find out more about the Nobel Prize winner to properly celebrate his achievement.
The Nobel Prize in Literature 2017 is awarded to the English writer Kazuo Ishiguro.
Kazuo Ishiguro was born in Nagasaki, Japan in 1954. Because of his father's job, the family moved to England when he was 5. His master thesis became his debut, A Pale View of Hills, launching him a successful career in writing. The 7 novels he has written so far have brought him much acclaim, including the 1989 Man Booker Prize for his 3rd book, The Remains of the Day. And on Thursday, the 2017 Nobel Prize in Literature was announced.
I would say that if you mix Jane Austen and Kafka, you get Ishiguro in a nutshell.
Although the plots might vary, from science fiction to historical novels, Ishiguro's works often have a gloomy but highly intimate narrative, examining issues such as mental anguish and coping with the past.
In a very small way, I hope that some of the themes that I have tried to tackle in my work about history, about not just personal memory, but the way countries and nations and communities remember their past, and how often they bury the uncomfortable memories from the past. I hope that these kinds of themes will actually be in some small way helpful to the climate we have at the moment, because I think we've entered a very uncertain time in the world at the moment.
The award comes with more than $1 million in prize money, and Ishiguro is the first Briton to win the Nobel Literary Prize in a decade, since Doris Lessing's recognition in 2007.
Well, Tulay Gungen, the Turkish publisher of Kazuo Ishiguro's works, is with us in the studio today. Thanks for coming on our show.
Thank you.
Many writers were thought to have a chance of winning the award, like Margaret Atwood, Haruki Murakami. Why do you think Kazuo took the prize home?
Well, I think the Swedish Academy has a very good statement for this. They say, uncovering the abyss beneath our illusory sense of connection with the world. And they also underlined the great emotional force Ishiguro has in his novels. So I think this statement hints the combination of deep philosophical themes combined very elegantly, very elegantly with some absorbing stories and even more absorbing characters. So I think this was the main line for their decision.
Well, for people who don't know of Ishiguro's works, how do you think they should start exploring his literature?
Personally, I think one of the 2 books should be the first to read. It's either his 1989 book of Remains of the Day, and the second one is Never Let Me Go, his 2005 bestseller. The first one is the story about an perfect English butler with his past pains, and the latter, Never Let Me Go, is like a semi-science fictional novel, but really working on our anxieties of the 21st century. So I think one of these 2 could be a very good start.
What are the distinguishing features of his writing style?
Apart from his last novel, The Buried Giant, Ishiguro always used the first-person narrator. He was always saying, I. And with that, he was presenting characters with some secrets and with some painful memories, which they can hardly directly face. So when they tell their stories in first person, they very slowly and very elegantly reveal those secrets. And as the reader goes on with the story, sometimes she feels like reading a detective novel, and some very little, very graceful details start giving hints about this person and about his past. I think this is a very compelling part of his writing. On the other hand, we can also say that he enjoys working with different genres of literature, which are not really on the main line. For example, he can take some tropes from detective novel and use it in his novels in a very discreetful way, or as we see it in his Never Let Me Go, like a semi-science fiction setup, or in the last novel, his latest novel, The Buried Giant. It's almost like a fantastical novel. So he can very skillfully joins all these three.
There's a lot of variety.
Yes.
Last year, singer-songwriter Bob Dylan took the prize home, and it caused a lot of controversy, as we all know. But this year, their pick was a bit more conventional. Do you think that they're going to broaden their selection in the future? Is that like a tip that they're going to broaden their selection?
Yeah, I can feel that there may be a broadening. There was already an expansion in their way of looking when they had Svetlana Alexievich, who was an oral historian, for example. That was already a somewhat different choice. And the same feeling came with last year's decision. So why not?
Well, hopefully. And last but not least, do you think that Turkish authors have a chance as well?
Well, with Orhan Pamuk's 2005 win, which was a great success, I think the Turkish literature has become more known in the worldwide literary scene. So with that in front of us, we have a very good reason to hope that more and more Turkish writers, new talents would be in the committee's screen. Why not?
Well, we're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, wait and see. That will be an exciting wait and see.
Well, it was a pleasure having you on our show. Thank you so much, Tulay.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.